Hi, everyone. My name is Emmy Amarati, and I'm Assistant Director of our ACU Online Writing Center. Thank you for joining me for our webinar on describing a project rationale. When we release this webinar recording, we will also release the slide deck, and in that slide deck, all of the links to resources that we've used will be active. So you can click them in the slide deck to access those resources that may help you. For this webinar, we're going to have two learning objectives. The first is to understand the purpose and characteristics of a project rationale. The second is to workshop BCMO 491 Week 1, Assignment 1, Topic Investigation for Major Project. So our first learning objective is to understand the purpose and characteristics of a project rationale. So first, we're going to address what a rationale itself is. Merriam-Webster defines a rationale as an explanation of controlling principles of opinion, belief, practice, or phenomena, or an underlying reason or basis. So what this basically means is your rationale is why. Why are you doing something or why have you done something? I'll give you an example. When I wanted to get a dog, I developed a rationale that was not just that I wanted a dog, it was that my son, who was younger at the time, was on the autistic spectrum, and getting a dog was going to be good for his interactions, his emotional health, being responsible for something, things like that. So I crafted a strong underlying reason or basis for this project of why we were going to get a dog. It wasn't just I wanted it. I had a very detailed set of reasons for why. We can apply that same thing to a project, not a project of getting a dog, but a research project or a business project or an educational project. A project rationale then explains the reasoning or the why behind a project choice or topic. It serves as the foundation for the project by helping you outline your needs, your purpose, and your goals. So why is a clear project rationale important? First off, it establishes a justification, just like I needed a justification to get my dog, and it creates the focus for why you are working on the project. Having a specific focus guides your research or project activities to keep them on track, and it also helps you refine your ideas before you expend a lot of time and effort. Because as you are working through your rationale, you may realize that um, the project itself may not be aligned with what exactly you want to do or why you want to do it, and thereby you will avoid spending time on actions that may not be as productive as you want them to be. Looking forward from a research perspective, a project rationale can guide your creation of research questions and or project objectives to ensure they align with your goals. A strong rationale will link your needs and your goals, creating a clear purpose in support of meaningful project outcomes. So let's look at what needs versus goals are. Needs are a problem or a gap in understanding that require action or improvement. What is going on that needs to be addressed, and what do you need to know in order to fix the issue? So, for instance, there is a decline in ice cream shop sales during the summer that threatens the solvency of our ice cream shop. That's a problem. We're not making enough sales during the winter. Another example from a ministry context is there is a decline in church attendance and involvement during the summer that negatively impacts our community ministry. So maybe people are away during the summer on vacation, and we don't have enough folks to run our pantry or our church kitchen that serves our community. Then, once you identify your need, you can also identify your goal, which is the desired outcome or solution that the project will explore or contribute to. For instance, for the need of declining ice cream sales or weak ice cream sales, the goal might be to increase winter ice cream sales by 30% through targeted marketing strategies. Regarding the community ministry during the summer, a goal might be to identify strategies to increase summer church attendance and involvement by 30% to support effective community ministry. So our goals are very specific and they are crafted to fill the need or address the problem or gap. Strong project rationales are specific. In other words, you should avoid vague statements like, I find this topic interesting. The reader really wants you to explain in detail why the topic matters to you. And that's not just for the reader, it's for you to understand why you're actually doing something in your context. Next, a strong project rationale will connect your goals and your context. How does the topic affect your work or your future goals? This is really going to give a why for why you're doing something. To create these connections to your goals and your context, you can use linking language like we've listed here, because, in order to, this will enable me to, or this will benefit blank by. These are all cause and effect type words that show why you're doing something. Finally, a strong project rationale will identify any gaps in knowledge related to the goal. What don't you know that you need to explore? So if you're doing a research project, that knowledge gap may in itself form the purpose of your project. We're going to look at how that works in a minute. So our learning objective 2 is to workshop BCMO 491 week 1 assignment 1 topic investigation for a major project. This is a link to the assignment in the Christian Ministry and Spiritual Formation capstone course. It will provide details, which we will also look at here. The purpose of this assignment is for students to familiarize themselves with the parameters of the essay project for this class, as well as make the first steps in beginning it. The instructions say students will read through the major research project overview and provide 3 potential topics with a 100-word minimum rationale for why they would be interested in exploring each topic. Again, we see that word why. The rationale should address the following 3 questions. What about this topic appeals to me personally? How could exploring this topic in more depth benefit my ministry? And what do I want to know about this topic? These questions relate to the points we made about a project rationale earlier. Why is it important to you? Why are you interested in it? How is it going to connect to your context, your ministry context? And finally, what do you need to know that you don't already know in order to learn what you want to learn? This does reference the major research project. So in order to understand this assignment better, let's also look at some of the details from the major research project. During your capstone, you will be expected to research and write critically on topics which are related to your ministry. For your major research project, you will write an 8 to 10-page research-based practical theology paper on one of the major topics we discuss in this class. The topics that you can choose from are listed below: traumatic grief, church decline, moral, social, and political gatekeeping, pluralism, universalism, and ecumenism, and disinformation and anti-intellectualism. Keep in mind that the paper is in the genre of practical theology, meaning that you are engaging in a concrete situation, your ministerial context, using theological thinking and resources. The paper will also be research-based, meaning that at least 5 sources must be used from the ACU online library. Back to our specific assignment in your getting ready phase for the project. For this project, you're going to provide 3 topics for the project. That's about half of the grade. You need to provide a clear rationale for each topic, almost another half of the grade. 45 plus 45 is 90. That leaves 10 points out of 100 for being 300 words and for being free of spelling and grammatical errors. So we're going to look at an example of one response that would provide a rationale for one project choice. And I have made this up. The first question that you need to answer for your assignment is what about the topic appeals to me personally? So in the first part of my 100 plus word response, I'm going to identify what the topic is, and I'm going to explain what about the topic appeals to me personally. The topic of pastoral care for refugees experiencing traumatic grief appeals to me because I have witnessed the struggles of displaced individuals in my city. Many arrive experiencing profound loss, uncertainty, and a need for stability because they have lost their home, loved ones, and faith community. You can see that I've used words from the prompt question. The topic appeals to me. I've also used one of those connecting words that I pointed out earlier because um, that is going to relate the topic to me and my context. The next question is, how could exploring this topic in more depth benefit my ministry? Exploring this topic will benefit my ministry by equipping me to provide compassionate, culturally sensitive support to foster healing and resilience, especially in addressing grief, trauma, and rebuilding a sense of belonging. So basically, again, I have echoed words from the question in bold. You can see them there. But I'm explaining in a very personal way why I want to do this. I want my ministry and me to be able to provide this support to these people um, who are coming into our community. The third part of the response is, what do I want to know about this topic? So again, I'll echo some of those words. I want to understand how pastoral care practices can be adapted to meet the unique spiritual and emotional needs of these migrants, even among individuals of different faith backgrounds. So this is what I need to know. I don't know about this yet, and I need to do research to better understand it. In the response overall, you can see that I used about a third of the paragraph to answer each question, and this is over 100 words. So basically for each answer, you just need one well-developed paragraph that answers each of the three questions. You can answer them in order, and you can use the words from the questions to guide you along, guide the reader along through the response. So let's connect this response back to some of the things we talked about earlier. The top part, the question about what about this topic appeals to me personally, relates strongly to the need. What is going on here? These people are coming in and they're experiencing grief and loss, and we should be able to support them, which is our goal. The goal is to be able to support these people through our ministry. And finally, since we're doing a research project, the what you want to know actually aligns quite well with the purpose. The purpose of this study is going to be how to explore how pastoral care practices can be adapted to meet the unique spiritual and emotional needs of migrants in my community who are experiencing traumatic grief. So the purpose again helps bridge the need with the goal, and all of it works together to create your rationale or your why for why you want to do this research. Now, again, this is one example. For this assignment, you need to write three, um, just like we just did. So we have reached the end of this webinar, and during it, we use several examples to understand the purpose and characteristics of a project rationale and to workshop specifically BCMO 491 Week 1 Assignment 1 Topic Investigation for Major Project. This is just a reference in APA format for the dictionary definition of rationale. Um, Before we wrap up, let me tell you a bit about our ACU Online Writing Center. You can check out the Online Writing Center group in My ACU at the top link. At the second link, you can watch a video that shows how to make steps for an appointment and submit your paper. We do work with you at any stage of your writing, and we offer two appointment types to do that. First, we offer an email or asynchronous appointment in which you can upload your paper and we will send you feedback by email in 24 hours. That's your Writing Center report. So for instance, if your appointment is at 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, you upload your paper by 4 o'clock on Wednesday and you'll get feedback by 4 o'clock on Thursday. We also offer Zoom appointments if you want to meet one-on-one with a tutor. And in that case, you just go to the schedule at the time of the appointment, which is in Central Time, and you click on the Zoom link. You can schedule your appointments up to 2 weeks in advance if you would like to use that as kind of a mini goal to help you accomplish steps towards your writing process. For Zoom appointments, you don't need to bring a paper at all. You can just show up and we can chat about, if you're brainstorming or trying to figure out how to outline or organize something, you're welcome to join us on Zoom without a writing project already in process. You can also access many writing related resources on our Writing Center website. This again just reviews our submission process, which is that you schedule an appointment at WC Online and you upload your paper to the appointment form. You do not need to upload your paper when you schedule the appointment. If you schedule your appointment 2 weeks ahead, you can upload that paper 2 minutes before the appointment is actually scheduled to start, and you are good to go. You can contact us with questions at our Central Writing Center email address, which is onlinewritingcenter@acu.edu. You can schedule an appointment at this second link, and you can visit the Online Writing Center website at the bottom link. The Online Writing Center website includes a ton of resources to help you, including links to our APA course paper template. In your coursework, you will be using APA format, and this template makes it very easy for you to have all of the settings already built in so you can spend your time on ideas and crafting your words and not having to worry about if your margins are in the right place. We also offer a YouTube channel where we feature some of our favorite webinars. And we have our Online Writing Center blog where tutors share their insights about various things like using AI in your writing process and how to do so responsibly and ethically. We also offer a bunch of other webinars, all of which are linked on our website and some of which are available on our YouTube channel. If you're watching this webinar and you're taking BCMO 491, you may be interested in the rest of our series on this course. For instance, we have one on the week 3 assignment where you need to write an annotated bibliography on sources related to the major project. So the slides and video are linked here. So this concludes our webinar on project rationales. I thank you for learning with me today, and I hope you found this recording useful. Bye.